first century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decide the fiction from the truth. Society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their fucking opinion.
What's up? Happy Sunday. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, episode 419. What's going on? How goes the revolution? What's up, Spikey? What's going on, man? Good to see everybody. Lori Dawn. Looking forward to another New York Hardcore Chronicles Live book club. Absolutely. I've become the master of reading books. Like, you want to know how I read books now? Like Johnny Carson used to do it. Good. I'm good. I'm good. I really honed my book reading skills. Happy Women's Day. Is it? Is today Women's Day? Is it? Is that right? Is that right, Lori Dawn? Is it Women's Day and we have no women on the show today? Makes sense. Yeah. Possibly one of my favorite books ever. Are you implying today's subject? All right, good. You have a willing victim. Yeah, Karnak. Thank you, Sean. Karnak the Magnificent. Disco. Bee Gees. Johnny Carson had some funny shit back in the day. He really did. Speaking of funny, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Messina.
Funny how?
Right. Johnny Carson, man.
It's funny that we're talking about his New York rock book, Steve's New York rock book.
Uh-huh.
I must have read it 3 or 4 times. I've given it as a gift a number of times. It's like it's a great book.
Of course, and American hardcore is really, in a lot of ways, it was the first one, and it's like the Bible of American hardcore
and American hair metal as well.
It was good too.
In fact, it's funny because before I was showing you, I opened up a drawer before and found this.
Funny you should bring that up. I bet there's a lot of people out there that do not know this band. Hold it up again. This is Smash Gladys. And there's many people out there, I'm assuming, that do not know this band. They were part of sort of that moment in New York City, that kind of biker rock. It was like Circus of Power, Smash Gladys, Raging Slab.
Throbs.
I'll throw the Throbs in there. That band comes up in this show. So Smash Gladys has and I learned about that in this book. So they're coming up. Goat played in Raging Slab? I don't know about that. Really? Oh, yeah, Bane last night. You didn't send me any pictures, Larry. Hey, Larry the Hunter, what's up? Larry, did you ever see Raging Slab back in the day? Larry the Hunter? So, yeah.
Yeah, Raging Slab.
It's International Women's Day. Welcome to the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. It is International Women's Day, and we don't have any women on the show today, so there you go.
Was I supposed to bring a woman to this?
Yeah, you're supposed to bring a... Yeah, you fucked up. Yeah.
Drop the ball again.
That said, you know what I've been watching? I've been oh wait, you sent me some pictures.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah. Where are they? Oh, here they are. Sent me a couple pictures, and I just want to say that as we get to these pictures, I've been rewatching I needed to watch something like not ultra violence, not with like stupid, like crazy, everything is screaming and hysterics. Like, I just wanted to watch some dumb shit. So I started rewatching the Roger Moore James Bond films, starting with Live and Let Die. And man, those things haven't aged well. They're pretty cringy. The Roger Moore, and I saw these when I was a kid, and they were fantastic. I mean, Live and Let Die, I saw when I was 11 years old, I think. Yeah, 12 years old. So yeah, it's been a little. There's a scene. Speaking of Women's Day, there's a scene in Live and Let Die where Roger Moore is trying to get some information from this woman, and he basically just smacks her up, and then he's like this, and she's like, "I'll tell you." It's like, whoa. He basically smacks up this woman to get her to tell her where the bad guy is. It's like, ooh. Yeah, it's campy. It's kind of corny, and I mean, some of the stunts are great and nice to see, and there's not a lot of it's easy. Yeah, Moonraker. I remember seeing Moonraker back in the day, and it was awful. I remember seeing it in the theater back then, and it was awful. So anyway, Steven Pictures. Here you go. I mean, there's that one of those Orange County guitars. I saw those in rock and roll, in the punk rock museum. Yep.
Yeah, these I was going through I'm always looking for fun stuff, and obviously I have the new Social D song has been playing, and I'm loving the new Social D song. So
I don't think I've heard it.
Oh, it's called Born to Kill from the album Born to Kill.
Right. Yeah, I heard it.
And this is not Social D. This is actually Mike Ness solo band circa 2008. Remember that brief period where they changed the name of Irving Plaza to the Fillmore?
Yeah.
Well, this was the Fillmore. This was Mike Ness at the Fillmore. And in fact, I believe we have his guitar player, which went on to be in Social D, I think is in the span as well.
Yeah. You're
Johnny
talking about
Johnny. This was a great show. In fact, he went with more of the rockabilly with the stand-up bass and everything, and I believe the Super Suckers opened up for him.
Right.
And but this is already 18 years ago, which is blowing my mind.
Wow.
That he's been, he's went through the tonsil cancer thing, and
hey, he's back out doing it again, man.
Yeah, I got my ticket for the Brooklyn Palladium with the Brooklyn Paramount. I mean, and what a bill that is! You got Social D.
There's two. Who's playing drums? Who's this guy playing drums? Anybody? Anybody know who this is on Mike Ness's solo tour? Who is this? He doesn't look familiar to me.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But it's Social Distortion, The Descendants, and the Chats. It's a great bill.
What day are you going? The first or the second?
Is he doing multiple nights?
Yeah, one of those nights is
I think I got the first night.
Is that September? Yeah, it's September. Yeah. I won't even get into what's going. Yeah.
And I can't. The Brooklyn Paramount is the place to be because I also got my Coxbar ticket for the Brooklyn Paramount, and that I got.
I bailed. I don't know if I'm going to Coxbar. I don't know.
I'm going for sure.
I mean, we played in Vegas with them, and I was right there. I don't know if I. Also, we have a show. We have a show that day.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't know.
I love those guys, so that's going to be fun.
Let me see what Cox Bar, yeah. Yeah, Saturday night. Yeah, maybe I'll go the night before. The next day is the D.D. Verdi show.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Is that right? I believe that the drummer's Dave Raven, but I'm not 100%. Iron Maiden's playing that weekend too?
Ah, here we go.
Yo, because we might be moving our park show to that weekend, the third park show. Whatever. Listen, at this point, like I talked to Larry about it. If you think you're booking a show in New York City in the summer on a Saturday, and there's not going to be 2 or 3 shows on top of it, you're in a dream world. Because in the summer, on a Saturday, there's 8 Saturdays in the summer, and there's always multiple shows going on, you know? So
that's the beauty of New York, you know? I mean, sometimes you can do 2 in one day if you got the energy, you know?
Yeah, so everybody that's going to go see is Iron Maiden, does anybody know, is Iron Maiden the 12th?
I can't remember.
Because that's when we might be moving the park show to, the 12th.
But if you go, you can do Maiden and the park in the same day.
You could also do Maiden and Social Distortion the same day.
Sure. Wow, that's a hell of a day right there.
You know why we're moving the park show?
Why are we moving the park show?
Because there's gonna be another CBGB Fest.
I had a feeling.
And I'm not trying to do a park show when fucking Sex Pistols are playing in Brooklyn.
I was going to say, because the Sex Pistols announced their American tour, and once again, New York was not on the list.
But there's 2 days, off days over the weekend, and that's when the CBGB Fest is happening.
So I figured that's what they were going to do.
You heard it here first, kids.
An exclusive from
CBGB
New York
Fest with Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying who else is playing. That's not my business to divulge on the air.
I was in Sicily for the last one. I literally landed in Sicily the day of that show.
Right on.
So.
Right on. All right. Cool.
Let's do this. I'm psyched to see this one.
All right. Hang out. I'll pull you back on if you're around.
Not going nowhere.
All right. I'll see you in a minute. That's what's up. So New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. We are sponsored by the Texas Silver Rush, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Generation Records, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Wooman of the Pit, She Devil's Coven, and Minty Fresh Presents. They're a promotion company that put on hardcore metal shows in Locals Bar in Manalapan, New Jersey. Founded by Chris Gullis of Bulldoze, a.k.a. Big Polish, and Frankie DeAngelis of Silence Equals Death. The shows are all ages with plenty of free parking. The kitchen's open all night and the bar until 2 a.m. If you're a band looking to play and you don't totally suck, or if you do suck but draw a fuckload of people, reach out to them at mintyfreshpresents@gmail.com. Ticket pre-sales for events are available at mintyfreshnj.com. Check them out on Instagram at mintyfreshnj and help spread the word to support DIY hardcore and metal in Central New Jersey. Minty Fresh Presents. Here we go. Let's clear the deck. Let's bring our guest on. Everybody okay in the chat room? Yeah. Okay, good. No harm, no foul, right? Here we go. Today's guest is an American author, journalist, and filmmaker hailing from the Garden State of New Jersey. He founded Seconds Magazine and has written about music and popular culture for publications including Spin, Kerrang, and the beloved Village Voice. He's also known for his books Lost Rockers, New York Rock, and American Hardcore, and its documentary film adaptation. Here today to talk to us about his new book, When Rock Met Hip Hop, please welcome back, coming at us from New York City, our old friend, Mr. Steve Blush. Hey, man.
How you doing, Drew?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good. So I got a beef to pick. So New York Hardcore Chronicles, My Return, is episode 419. We could have waited one and made it 420.
When I first booked you, you said 420, and then you said you were psyched, and then things shifted around a little bit, and it turns out this guy Frankie Farrar, who's on Wednesday, ended up at 420. And he's not probably even a 420 guy, but that's just the way it shook out, right?
Oh man, I love Frankie, great guy, but
yeah,
no beef with Frankie, but
yeah.
But I 420's been a big thing in my life. So
yeah, for
there
sure.
we go. So
hey, shouting out
on.
Joe Romini in the Texas Silver Rush. What's up? Good to see you, Joe. Thank you for supporting the show and being a sponsor since pretty much the very beginning.
Yeah, all the people who sponsor this show. I mean, come on, this is cool.
Yeah, it's been great, man.
Yeah,
it's been great. So I'm excited. I'm excited you're on. I really enjoyed the book, and I learned a couple of things that I did not know. But first, let me say that. So when rock, let me ask. So the new book is When Rock Met Hip Hop, and I'm assuming this is part of the trilogy, going with When Rock Met Disco and When Rock Met Reggae.
Yeah, so this is a legitimate trilogy. The Le Monde, the newspaper in France, called it the Lord of the Rings of rock trilogies.
That's awesome.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
That's great.
I had started out with this book, When Rock Met Disco. And it was just an idea that I had. And, I'm not talking about like Do the Hustle and Tony Manero in Studio 50 in Saturday Night Fever.
Sure.
I'm talking about when the Stones did disco and when
the Grateful Dead did Shakedown Street.
Disco Dead,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and you're in that book.
Yeah.
And so then I followed it up with When Rock Met Reggae. And again, it's not about like rock steady or blue beat. It's about when the Clash or the Specials or Police, all those bands. Brought some muscle to the reggae sound. And likewise, I think my best book I've ever written is this When Rock Met Hip Hop.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And again, I'm not talking about the early Rapper's Delight or New York. I'm talking about when Rick Rubin got together with Run-DMC and Aerosmith, or when Kerry King got together on No Sleep Till Brooklyn with the Beastie Boys, or when Scott Ian got together with Chuck D and Public Enemy, and they did their version of Bring the Noise.
I agree. I do think that's your sweet spot in this book, is sort of when you arrive in the history where sort of with the artists that you and I were connected with, Seconds Magazine was connected with these artists. I feel like that's where you really that's the sweet spot of the book, and so much about this because doing Seconds Magazine for all those years, and you're connected with these artists, Faith No More, which we'll talk about. You were connected to many of these artists, but what was the process of putting the book together? Like how does something like this come together?
Takes a long time.
Yeah.
But it's basically every bit of research that I know. I started out, you have to tell a little bit of the backstory. You got to talk about a little bit about the rise of hip hop, which is graffiti culture and rapping and graffiti art, and then we talk about what happened in the New York nightclubs. What I'm talking about is the merger of hip hop and New York club music and punk rock and hardcore and heavy metal, and this is something that was very natural for me, and I'm sure for you too. Growing up in the city, just this was our music. It was a little bit of everything. Music is a cross culture, and I also like to say that music's not black or white. It's shades it's shades of color, shades of gray, and all that.
Music is the universal language, as we say here, and it's the tie that binds us together. But when I ask you about the process and just knowing your history and having Seconds magazine, and the book to me it's your style. It's like it reminds me of American hardcore very much, where you sort of set the table with the history, and then you delve a little bit into oral history quotes from people. And I see, and in this book, you after somebody is quoted, you kind of give the year. And from reading the book, some of the years go back a ways, and I'm assuming that part of this, like you said, is an incredible amount of research where you're going back into past interviews you've done with maybe artists in the past, and then doing some new interviews. I know you interviewed me for this. So that was sort of my perception. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, I probably interviewed from my history of all my writings, there was probably about, close to 50 interviews.
Sure.
And then I did about a dozen interviews as well. You, Evan Seinfeld talking about slam, and I was going to say a bunch of the people from Smash Gladys.
That's coming up. That was something I learned.
Yeah. There's something to learn from this book. If you think you know hip hop, I would say dive into this book and tell me what you don't know.
Yeah. How all those interviews you did back in the day? I know, like my brother's big in Hollywood with the AI thing, and so this isn't AI. This is sort of analog. This isn't digital, right? This is like we're relying here on your memory. Oh yeah, I interviewed these guys back then, and then you're going back to transcripts, or whatever to sort of. So this isn't like put it all in the AI and AI spits it out. And no, this is old school. You've got a chisel and a hammer, and you're chipping away at the rock. Yep,
100%. Just going back and digging in the crates, as they would say.
Yeah. What were and we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the book, but what were some of the biggest challenges in putting this one together at this point?
Well, there were a few people I couldn't get to talk to, like people who I used to think I was fairly friendly with, but
right.
but they're like different people now. It's like
that's right.
Rick Rubin or Mike D or
that's right.
I mean, they're just different human beings.
That's right
at this point. So but I found like the Beastie Boys wasn't really an issue because I had interviewed them so many times.
Yeah,
I was the first person to ever interview them.
Your Beastie Boy game is strong in this book. Very strong. It really very strong Beastie Boy section in this book. Anybody out there is if anybody out there is a fan of the Beastie Boys, I strongly recommend this book because Steve interviewed them many times back in the day, and they're great. Strong chapter, very strong chapter in the book. Really good. But I really like what you say there because I've learned that in the past couple of years the hard way as well. Is some of the kids that I was in the trenches with back in the day, and I go, I was in the trenches with him in fucking World War I. I was in Nam with that guy. Meaning like minor. We went and hung out in the pit at the minor threat. Yeah. A lot of the people that I was in the trenches with back in the day, like you said, they are different human beings now. Yeah. And you just, that's my dude. Yeah. And I don't want to mention names, but they're out there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's
things change.
Yeah. I mean, but it is a long, long time ago.
It is.
But I used to think that we were like Army vets.
I still do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who fit that mold for sure.
Yeah.
But not all of them. Not all of them.
Yeah. Everybody kind of has their journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Tony, man, thank you. That's very kind. Drew Stone and Stephen Blush are two of the most knowledgeable, passionate, supportive people in our community. I'm proud to call them friends and lucky to have worked with Stephen. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Yep.
Very kind.
And I would say Tony's one of the good guys. I would say the same thing back to Tony. I mean, he's really
one of the good guys.
Beautiful person. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony, for the kind words. So biggest challenges on this one? I guess that's it. Just some people just don't respond like they used to, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was, there were a few, there's a little bit of that, but not as much as, I mean, we're talking about it right now, but it wasn't that many people.
Yeah.
But they were key figures.
Sure.
You know, but I can't get, I mean, I used to go to hang out at shows with Rick Rubin. I couldn't get him on the phone if I tried right now. So,
right.
Yep. And that's kind of sad. I don't know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I helped him break. I did a cover of Seconds Magazine for "She's on It," which is the single before License to Ill. You know,
she acts like a nag. I don't know how it started. Even when we're chilling, she acts like
retarded
because she's on it. That's I'm going to bring that. That comes up. That comes up later in our discussion. I have that in my notes. So let's. Tony says many people have vague memories. We have to glean the facts while everyone is still alive. Yeah. Oh, Joshy says Stephen gave the Beastie Boys their first ever cover story. Is that right?
That is correct.
Wow.
Thank you for recognizing that. I appreciate that. And I love my card. I love my my trading card. So
yeah, there's
I have it on my wall right over here. Yep.
You know what? While we're here, there is, have you seen the new and revised one?
No, I haven't.
How about that?
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that at all.
Yeah, that's new, right, Josh? That's a new one. And here's the back of it. Oh, wait, here's an alternate new one that he sent me. I like this one. This one's cool. I like this one.
Oh, yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. And then the back, where's the back? Steve Blush card. Here we go. The back is like chock full of info, man.
I collected baseball cards, man. So
I know you, me, Glenn Friedman, big baseball fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. Lots of
wow.
Fun fact, outside of his writing, Stephen has a huge record collection that started when he was 7 years old. His father took him to Sam Goody's in Brunswick, New Jersey, and he picked out Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire and I Walk the Line as his first two records. Over 50 years later, he still has those two records and thousands of others. His collection includes punk rarities like Nirvana, Love Buzz, and Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen 7-inch singles, and signed records by Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. His collection spans genres with hardcore hip-hop, go-go funk, Christmas novelty music, and a large selection of 1980s hair metal. Very cool.
I'm really moved by this, man. That's really cool.
He does great work, man. And I'm really happy that Josh and is a part of.
Yeah, I'd love to get copies of those. That's amazing.
The show. I saw the picture. I had pictures of you with the signed Sabbath record, and I had those somewhere. And here is just as a visual, and I'm assuming that you still have this massive archive.
I do. I do.
That's a lot, man.
That's cool. I took out the CDs, and now it's all, that whole wall is filled with records.
With vinyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark Yoshi told me CDs are making a comeback.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he's telling me. Like kids are coming in and asking want CDs now.
Yeah. I got rid of all my CDs because and I sold it to one of these guys who saw a comeback of this stuff. And he
I think back about when the record thing collapsed.
Yeah.
When I was living in Vermont and raising Caleb, and his mom was an artist and would paint on records. And we lived in a small town in Vermont for a couple of years, and there was one little record store there. And when the whole record store thing collapsed, we would just go to the back of the record store, and there was milk crates just filled with records they were throwing out.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep. In the city, it was the same thing.
And I'm not talking 1 or 2 crates. There'd be 15 crates of records, and they're throwing them out.
Yeah, I found I was getting like Killing Joke records and stuff like that. Just people just throwing them out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the book a little bit and kind of take a little walk through on some of my notes, starting with I like Danny Boy from House of Pain, who we're a big fan of. In the book early on, he says everyone grew up around rock and metal, and I thought that was really poignant. That and I could relate that a lot of the guys our age, and we all grew up around rock and metal, and what we know is classic rock, and then sort of that was the foundation, and then other thing, hardcore or hip hop came into that. But I thought that was a really poignant quote. Everyone grew up around rock and metal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, isn't that the truth, right? I mean, that was the gateway.
Yep.
That was the gateway to punk. That was the gateway to hip hop. That was the gateway to all of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Danny Boy was one of the people who I interviewed for the book. Like I interviewed you and Evan and all that kind of stuff that I had mentioned. He's got a wild life right now.
I like Danny Boy a lot. He was on the show recently. I'm happy when I see someone like that reinvent themselves and have a great second or third or fourth career. He's a beloved figure in Tulsa, Oklahoma now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Yep. No, that's awesome. It's so cool what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
What movie is that from again that he collects?
The Outsiders.
The Outsiders, yeah.
He bought the Outsiders home, house, and it's like, they gave him the key to the city, and I've seen him in the front, in the parade, in the convertible waving. He's become like a beloved figure in Tulsa. So
that's cool.
But rock and metal, that's what a lot of us grew up on, and it was around. I mean, growing up in the tri-state area, what was it? Not K-Rock, WPLJ.
Yep.
And all that.
First show I ever saw was Led Zeppelin in Madison Square Garden.
77?
Presence tour.
Yeah. 75, I think that was. 75, I think.
Is that early? No. You know what? It could be that early. Yeah. Presence, whatever Presence is. Somebody can look that
I think,
up.
yeah. So, Hey, the first bunch of shows I saw were Marshall Tucker Band, The Outlaws, Molly Hatchet, The Grateful Dead, Jethro Tull. Yes. That's the first shit I ever saw.
Yeah. That was the gateway.
That was it. I love the early sort of the early history of hip hop. And another great quote, and I forgot who said it, but disco is the mother of hip hop. I thought that made a lot of sense. That disco, in a lot of ways, set the infrastructure for what came later.
Yeah, that might be DMC.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, he was really great for this book too.
Yeah, and knowledgeable guy. Yeah,
and a good guy, and that record with Agnostic Front is great.
Yeah, it's a good record.
I mean, really, like, just a phenomenal record. You know,
And
it might be my favorite Agnostic Front song, to be honest with you.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you're a fan of that record, Wednesday, March 18th, right here at the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, we will be doing an album breakdown of Agnostic Front Echoes in Eternity with the godfather of New York Hardcore, Vinny Stigma, Mike Gallo, and Mike DeJean.
Perfect.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I always thought that Rapper's Delight was sort of the first rap song. Just I was going to high school in the Bronx at the time. Everybody had boom boxes. That to me was the shot across the bow. But in reading the book, and then what was a lot of fun was when you mentioned some of this other stuff. As I'm reading the book, you could get right on YouTube or Spotify and go, "Hey, let me check out the Fastback Band, King Tim," which people say that is the first hip hop song. And I listened to it, and you know what? Kind of sounds like the first rap single.
Mm-hmm. The problem with that one was it didn't get the exposure.
Right.
So, you know, one thing I've learned is you never want to be the first.
Right.
You want to be about the fifth.
Just ask the Bad Brains, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
You never want to be the first. You want to come in like at about Living Color or like second or third or fourth.
Yeah. I use that comparison with the Sub Pop bands.
Right.
You didn't want to be Green River or something like that.
100%.
You wanted to be Nirvana, right?
100%. You don't want to be Green River, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, as we're talking about this, listen, you know, back in the day when you were at Madison Square Garden for the concert and you were going to jump over the wall to get down to the orchestra, the seats on the floor, when the lights went out, you never wanted to be that first person.
Yeah.
The first person always got grabbed. You would let the first person go, and when they went for him, then you would jump.
Yep.
So yeah. So this is interesting. How often did boom boxes get stolen in the Bronx back then? So I have a story real quick about Rapper's Delight. I was going to Kennedy High School in the Bronx in 1979, I believe. And everybody back then, the boom boxes were the thing. And kids would bring boom boxes to the schools. And, you know, you'd have like the rock kids and the disco kids and these kids, and everybody would have their boom boxes. But I remember a vivid memory of this. They used to, the city, there wasn't school buses, but they'd send city buses down to the school, and there'd be like 3 of them when school would be over, and we'd all get on them, and they come out of Kennedy High School and do the route. But I remember vividly being on one of these buses after school, 1979, and the call would go out like to what station to tune into, like, you know, KTU, and everybody would tune in, and everybody tuned into like KTU, and Rapper's Delight, you know, came, and it was, you know, 15 boom boxes in the bus, and the whole bus, regardless of ethnicity, what you know, what music you claimed, everybody loved Rapper's Delight. Everybody, the rock kids, the hip hop, everybody. And I have a vivid memory of the whole bus going to hip, everybody. Yep. And it's a fond memory of how music would bring us all together.
Mm-hmm. Music is what brings us together. It's you know, it's not politics. It's not, you know, any of the things you think it would be. It's music.
Yeah.
Music is what brings us all together. And
100%.
It's a really deep thing. It really is. We've had this conversation before.
It's kind of the basis of this show. It's the basis of my career.
Yeah.
So moving along a little bit, another track that was, I think, really influential and far-reaching was The Message, and a Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and I remember being part of the original Boston crew in 1982 up in Boston, and we loved The Message and would listen to it all the time. And this is 1982. And, we weren't just like listening to Minor Threat and Bad Brains and Black Flag and Misfits. The Message we loved it. We just, it's like a jungle sometimes. I mean, and not necessarily I can only speak to sort of the section of that crew I hung out with. I don't know about Al Burrell and some of those straight edge guys, but sort of the no edge guys were listening to a lot of us of the original Boston crew. So, The Message was another really huge show, huge song.
Yeah, and that reminds me of going to see the Clash and all that, and you would get this crossover with Curtis Blow and
that's right,
and Grandmaster Flash and all that stuff. Now, they weren't very well received.
Did you see them here in New York on the pier?
I did see the pier. Yeah,
I was there. I was there.
Yeah, I remember N bombs being dropped a lot.
Yep.
Yep. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I was there. I saw that. Curtis Blow. I saw Curtis Blow open for the Clash on the pier. It was Curtis Blow and Dennis Brown.
Yep.
I saw that.
I didn't remember Dennis Brown.
Yeah. And I guess it's you mentioned Curtis Blow. Saw him open up for the Clash in '82, but he was sort of like the first one of the first ones out of the gate. And wasn't he wasn't like Run from Run-DMC was sort of like a protege of his early on, right?
Yeah, he was the son of Curtis Blow.
Son of Curtis Blow.
Yeah. Like he was like, son, you're my son.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he was like Curtis Blow was like 3 years older than him, 5 years older. Yeah.
And that was all the connection through Russell Simmons, of course.
Right. Sure.
So find something for his younger brother to do.
Yep.
And it's actually really good. If that earliest Curtis Blow is really excellent.
Yeah.
I see somebody mention White Lines.
Yeah.
And Liquid's Cavern, which are excellent records for their times.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, was Liquid's version that came first, and then they sampled that for The Message?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Liquid sued and they lost.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. I don't really actually know too much about it, but I remember that they were on a label called 99 Records, which was a store on 99 McDougal Street.
Right.
And Ed Ballman ran it, and he sued over it, and he lost.
Wow. I have to look that up. That's interesting. You would think, how could he lose? I mean, they basically lifted, they lifted the whole thing. Maybe things took a while to sort of before they cracked
down.
Things
were weird back then about sampling. Like, there's that famous one with George Harrison and She's So Fine.
My Sweet Lord, my sweet, she's
so. But that's not a ripoff. Music isn't like people are ripping off each other. I mean, maybe there's some, but basically it's people hear a song and then they put their own twist on it.
Yeah.
And that's what music is. Everyone puts their twist on the song.
There's only so many notes on the neck. Right. And if you're influenced by the same world events and the same things, a lot of times you're running a parallel course with another artist and things. I think George Harrison lost that case.
He did lose that case.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, didn't John Fogerty get sued for plagiarizing his own music?
Yes, that was he had the worst record contract ever.
Yeah. That was Saul Zantz, right?
Yeah. What was the name of that label? Fantasy?
Fantasy, that's right. Yeah. Fantasy Records, that's right. He wrote that song, Zantz Can't Dance. Yeah. Early DJs would use rock records to rap on because of the drum breaks and the bass breaks, the breaks from the vocals. And they could, I mean, so early on, a lot of the DJs gravitated towards sort of the classic rock breaks.
Yeah, there's a whole thing where African Bambaataa talks about the songs that he was using, and it's like Slow Ride by Foghat and Take the Money and Run by Steve Miller Band.
Sure.
And I was just on East Village Radio not too long ago with our boy Chip Love, and the DJ there was playing Take the Money and Run, and I was like, wow, that is a badass breakbeat.
Yeah.
That is like a really like very cool.
Yeah.
But I have a whole chapter in the book devoted to Billy Squire.
I'm getting there, and I'm getting there, and we're going to go hard on that because I went deep on that. I like read that whole history. It's a little bit down my sheet here, but we're definitely going back to it. That's we're definitely touching on that. That's ooh boy, interesting. So 1983, someone mentioned Wild Style. Wild Style was the first hip hop film, basically. Mm-hmm. And I've mentioned this before, but in 1983, in 81, 82, 83, I know, like here in New York or whatever, hardcore, hip hop, graffiti all ran side by side. It wasn't like hip hop wasn't established yet. Neither was punk. There was no. So I remember, a lot of these things ran side by side. Like hip hop was underground, hardcore was underground, graffiti art was underground. I remember there was maybe 18 months where it all just sort of percolated really under the radar screen. Those are really interesting times here in New York.
Yes. So it kind of, it goes back to Fab Five Freddy and, well, of course, and he was the inspiration for Blondie Rap. Yeah. He gets name dropped in the song.
Sure.
So, and then of course he went on to parlay that fame into MTV Raps. But he was like an incredible artist, like just an incredible, like there were all these guys like him and Jean-Michel Basquiat, mm-hmm. who were just these, these black guys who were like white artists.
Right.
And there's a great line in there where Jean-Michel Basquiat used to walk around the Lower East Side with a boombox playing Einstein's and Neubauten.
Oh.
I mean, talk about being like so far ahead of the curve, And did I say that name of that band right?
I think so, pretty much.
Everybody understands what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
I think.
Sure.
But I mean, that's like really heavy. That's
well, people think Basquiat every time I think of Fab. Yeah.
That
was part of that whole crew and what's the gallery I'm thinking of in the Lower East Side?
Fun Gallery.
Right. Fun Gallery.
Yeah.
Yep.
On Avenue A, I think it was at that point.
Yeah.
Because that was way east at that point.
Yeah. Well, going back to like Avenue A's adventurous, B is beware, yep. C crazy, and D is dead.
Right? Dead, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I like the Clem Burke quote about Blondie's Rapture. It's not a rap song; it's a song with rap in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like it's Debbie Harry kind of rapping in it. But it was sort of for a lot of people, a lot of civilians. It was really their first exposure, hearing to anything like of that in that world. It was sort of,
I was going to say the original hip hop was disco, like it was disco music wrapped over, and talking about Rapper's Delight and all that kind of stuff. That's Good Times by Chic.
Yeah.
And Blondie Rapture is something very similar.
Yeah.
So they're still doing disco, but they're doing disco from that New York nightclub perspective, which isn't quite disco. It's this new sound that's coming up. So to confuse Blondie with disco is not quite right.
I think Blondie, I mean, I always had personally, I never felt like Blondie really, you could pin them down. Like they're not punk, they're not new wave, they're not rock, they're not, I felt like they really straddled. They were unique in the regard that they straddled a lot of different musical genres.
They're the only band that's in all three of these books.
Ah, right. That makes sense.
They did hip hop, they did disco, and they did reggae.
Yeah.
The Tide is High.
Yeah, that's right.
So, which was a cover.
Yeah, Paul Stone says Blondie was kind of punk wave disco. Yeah, there were a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are We Not Men? Hip hop rap evolved from 70s Jamaican dancehall toasters like Daddy U Roy, Big Youth, Josie Wales. They would toast rap over dub and rhythms. Well, that's certainly part of it.
Yep.
That's
I mean, we talk about that. That book, that reggae book, is very much about a lot of that.
That's this book.
Yeah.
Not to be confused. Part of the Stephen Blush trilogy. And by the way, if you're out there and you were wondering, where could you purchase this new book? There is the QR code right up there. That's the Amazon QR code for when rock met hip hop. I'm going to leave it up there as we keep talking.
Yeah. So all those books are available on Amazon, and I make the least amount of money off of Amazon, but it's the cheapest and the fastest for all of you to get it. So
yeah, it's yes. Are We Not Men? They are fantastic. The trilogy. Hey, Damien, I hope you're well, buddy. 1983 Style Wars was a documentary that really captured the early graffiti and hip hop worlds in New York City. Yeah, 100%. 1983 was really a watershed year, and in the book you touch on it. I remember I think a club that I feel, because I spent a couple long nights there, that really brought these cultures and styles together was Danceteria. I always felt that Danceteria, I mean, CBGB was leaning over to that, but Danceteria, it was a real cacophony of characters.
Yeah, I think I saw Madonna there. And different night I saw a birthday party there.
Oh wow!
Another night I saw, Killing Joke there. Another night I saw ESG, which was kind of like Liquid. So, and it was, and the shows would friggin' go on at like 3 a.m, right?
Here's one.
Here's 3 a.m.
Here's one from '84. Cro-Mags, Cause for Alarm, Reagan Youth, Warzone. I mean, there was
that show has to go till 3 a.m.
Does it say a time on it? Bands begin at 8:30, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands.
Yeah,
it starts at 8:30.
Yeah,
come on now. Yeah, that was a funky place, man. We played there at the very end. When I was in Antidote. Let me see what else I have. What do I got from later on? What's this hardcore Danceteria? Yeah, these are some really interesting shows there.
Well, I was living in Washington D.C. then, but I remember Black Flag played there.
Danceteria? Really?
No, Mud Club. I'm sorry.
Mud. I saw Black Flag at the Mud Club. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
That was 81. That was big. I saw that. Here is when I was in Antidote. We played Danceteria. Antidote, Metropolis recording artist Antidote, Tinderbox, Falafel Mafia. Remember Falafel
I do remember them, yeah.
Falafel Mafia, yeah. So Danceteria.
99-cent drinks.
God. Hip hop, I forgot whose quote this was. Hip hop was the black punk rock. That made a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was
yeah. Well, it was a lot of sense. Rock. Yeah. That sounds like a Daryl, Jennifer, or a.
No, I think it was Daryl Jennifer. Now that you say it.
Yeah. So
everyone's asking about Danceteria. Did they have 3 levels of music? Yeah. And they had some like weird. There was weird rooms out of the way that you'd like go to, and like you'd be like, ee. Like depending on the night you went there, you'd go in and there'd be like,
there was also a rooftop.
I don't remember that. Yeah.
You took the elevator up to the rooftop.
Yeah. Yep. There was a quote in the book. Pete Nice from Third Base says, "There was no love." There was no love between the punk and hip hop crowds. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, because I guess from his perspective, maybe.
So he hung out at a place called the Latin Quarter.
Yeah.
And that was like a place where there was no, that was like the old school disco hip hop kind of club. House music, really. It was a house music club. So, but that was an interesting quote from him. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I'm thinking
everybody in the book is talking about crossover except for him.
Yeah, he's talking about punk and there was no love lost between punk and hip hop, and I'm thinking, what's Pete Nice's concept of what punk is?
Yeah.
Like his thought's probably not like. He probably never even seen a real punk kid.
Yeah.
So interesting. I thought, who knows?
Yeah. There's a really great part in the book where he talks about him and Search used to run the Slayer fan club. They used to answer the fan mail. I don't know if you remember that. But
they opened it up. They would open it up for Rush Management or for Scott Koenig or something. Yeah. For Rick or whatever. Yeah.
Imagine you sent your letter to Kerry King and it ends up with Third Base.
I revisited the Third Base stuff actually.
It's good.
It's been a while. Yeah, this record, the Cactus album, and they had two records, man. They had 2 great records.
Yep.
So yeah, I thought they were getting back together a couple years ago. I think they did a show or 2, and then it kind of went off the radar screen.
Yeah, I think they just didn't get along.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but in all fairness to Pete, Pete's a good guy.
Right.
Search is a real handful, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't Pete? Isn't he involved with sort of baseball memorabilia?
Yeah.
I think he has a bar in Cooperstown, and he's very involved with baseball memorabilia and stuff like that.
Yep. And he's also what he's doing now is he's working on building a hip hop museum in Queens.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they gave the gas face to Slayer fan mail.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
I was thinking about that today. Pop Goes the Weasel, where they're like dissing Vanilla Ice, and Henry Rollins plays Vanilla Ice at the end. It's like, oof.
Yeah.
It's like aged. It's aged about as well as the Roger Moore James Bond films.
Yeah. He says something in the his quote about that video was something weird, like that Henry Rollins is in the video because the guy who made the video was Bob Dylan's son.
Yeah, what's his name? Yeah, Jesse Dillon directed it. Yep,
right.
He was
so
directing
he made that video. So that was talked them into having Henry Rollins in it. They're like, who's Henry Rollins?
They had no idea.
No.
Yeah, Jesse Dillon in that era was directing music videos. Yeah, I remember he was sort of in the mix when I was producing and Paris was directing, and we were sort of having our run. There was like 10 directors in the pool. Yeah, he was one of them.
Yeah,
yeah, he was one of them. The other thing you mentioned was Billy Squire, and Billy Squire sort of in the book he's like sort of the self-proclaimed godfather of hip hop. Could you explain why he has that title?
Well, both DMC and Big Daddy Kane say that the godfathers of hip hop were James Brown and Billy Squire. And Billy Squire had no clue what was going on. But when the check started to clear, but I don't remember the exact number. It's over 300 times that he's been sampled. It's something like 312 times.
Incredible.
That people have sampled Billy Squire in hip hop songs.
And it's true, Josh says, and I think even Tony Mann could testify. It's really, am I pronouncing this right? It's really Bobby Chouinard, the drummer for Billy. He's the guy, very, very Bonham-esque drummer.
He talks about his style on what he did in the book, and it's just like it's a snare drum and it's a kick drum. I mean, I'm not the musicologist, but it was just so simple, like what he was describing about his drum set.
And the thing about Billy Squire that was, I'm going to take a little sidetrack here that I sort of went down a hole, is like Billy Squire had a career sort of like, originally he was in a band called Piper. He was like a guitar guy. And we're talking late 70s. He was in Piper. And I remember I had a friend that was like Piper, AC/DC with Bon Scott, and maybe early Kiss. I mean, that's what my buddy he was like Piper. He was like into Piper and early AC/DC. I couldn't really connect with it back then. I mean, it was kind of okay to listen to through the boombox at the pool or whatever, but it wasn't my thing per se. But I remember listening to Piper, and then he went solo. He had massive success, and then he did this. He did this one video that basically torpedoed his career. This one video he did for Rock Me Tonight torpedoed his career. And then, so I went back and I listened to sort of a little bit of his catalog leading up to that. And I got to say, dude was pretty soft leading up to that. Billy Squire was no.
I say in the book that he's at best a mediocre rock star.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is.
Yeah.
And, but the Big Beat and the Stroke were sampled 300 some odd times by I mean, like, you can't even believe like some of the people who sample that song, like Alicia Keys, people like that.
Right on. Oh wow. Roger 3232. I'm Bobby Chouinard's nephew, Billy's drummer. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, Bob, your uncle's drums really set the tone for it's really your uncle was the godfather of hip hop.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Michael LaRoche, you were 100% right about rappers ripped Billy Squire's drum beat. Dave Grohl ripped the Gap Band. It's all good. Right? Isn't that the beginning of Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Yeah.
It's the Gap Band. It's the Gap Band. Oh, Roger wrote a whole book about Bobby. Oh, very cool. Send me the link, Joshy. I want to. Yeah. And then I gotta play a clip of this, and I gotta be real careful because I don't want to get flagged, which happens all the time now. But just this guy torpedoed. I did a deep dive into this. This is sort of the cautionary tale of that golden age of music video when this guy probably was told this is the kind of video you need to do, and he did this video, and he's like prancing around in pink. Hold on. Let me no, there's no audio.
Now nobody would even have a problem with it.
Right. But at the time, this dude was supposed to be like a rock dude, and he comes out with a video like this. Yeah, that didn't really fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that was considered homoerotic at the time.
That's right. That's right. It was. 100%.
But now we would be like, that would be like, state of the art right now.
Yeah, it's soft as a baby's ass, basically. Yeah. And it really. Well, yeah. You talk about if you're talking about Billy Squire being a New York guy, he lives in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say where, but he's part of. Actually, he's part of the Central Park Conservatory. He's an Upper West Side guy.
Yeah.
He's an Upper West Side guy. But that's when you try to appeal to a female. Also, what was interesting, that video was directed by Kenny Ortega, who went on to direct all the High School Musical films. So there you go. Sean McNally says, and we're going to take a sponsor break in a second, that video definitely killed his career, but Squire has some great rock songs. My Kind of Lover, In the Dark, Everybody Wants Some, She's a Runner, 2 Days Gone. Yeah. But that killed it. That killed it, man. You do the wrong music video. You want to dance around in pink leotards and twist and squirm on some bed with plastic sheets. You might want to double check. Yeah, and see, right. So I go back and I listen to his catalog, and I'm thinking, isn't all this stuff really homoerotic? Like Stroke Me and all that stuff. I'm sort of like, Yeah. I know he kind of tried to say, hey, that put a disclaimer on it.
Yeah,
I don't think that flew.
Yeah.
So funny stuff. Let's take a sponsor break. Let me come back and let's talk about Run-DMC Rockbox, the Profile Records connection, Night Bob, Walk This Way, Scott Koenig, and so on and so forth. So I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. That's what's up. New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Let's do some sponsor stuff. I'm having a good time. Some home cooking here with our old friend Steve Blush. I hope that you are too. Hang out. We'll see you in a minute. Since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as t-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com and follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Will that be cash or in debt?
Do you mean debit?
Yes. Sorry. Another eternally satisfying customer.
Yo, what's happening? I'm out here at one of our all-ages Sunday matinees on the Bowery. I hope that you are enjoying today's show. I just want to let you know that the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live needs your support. Please step up. There is a Patreon page that has a lot of unique program. Shows are announced there first. Lots of good stuff. There's a PayPal address right there on the screen if you want to make a contribution. There's also a super chat function. You could do that. But the bottom line is this show exists because of your support. We're going to be doing it for a long, long time. Thank you for all your support through the years. Back to the show.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age, a 21st century casualty. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Conditioned by misinformation, it's just the media telling us lies. Decipher fiction from the truth, society's slow and tragic demise. Open your eyes, you're losing control. Open your eyes, put down the phone. Everyone's got their...
Come on, now we're back. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Sunday show. Hope everything's going well. We lost an hour last night. Clocks went ahead. Spring is right around the corner. Thank you, LaRoche. The mix of subjects is great on this show. Another great Sunday. Yeah, we got a good one today. Mixing it up. And Roger, of course, anybody that knows the history of Billy Squire knows that Bobby was a big, big, big part of those hits. That's, if you know, you know. Hey, want to mention a couple of events, actually. This Friday, March 13th, I am moderating the Chris Wren book event over at the Powerhouse Arena in Dumbo, Brooklyn. Come through. This is a great book. Come see us do basically this show live. Minty Fresh presents Shutdown, Silence Seekers Till Death, and Others, Saturday, March 14th in the Jewel of New Jersey, Manalapan. What's up? We're back in the A7, the birthplace of New York hardcore. Free 16 plus Sunday matinee, March 15th. Non-residents, non-residents from New York City, Y-Dive from Philly, The Long Wait from Boston, Chum Huffer from Long Island, RB&X from Hudson County, DJ Sid the Kid. Come down and support these events. Larry Kelly will be at the door. Another Minty Fresh show, a benefit for Kelly Kell with Fury of 5 and Others on April 4th. Steven Messina, bro, you playing Long Island?
Yes, sir.
All right, he's playing Long Island Friday, April 10th. Marley Bone, Serial Poets, Superhero, Chris and Rob's birthday show. Come out and see the Hardcore Shutterbug in Long Island. April's Rebelmatic show at A7, free all ages. Rebelmatic, Fulano, Tree, Catching Hell, and Oedipus Triple Rex with Mark Borg. And then what do we got? Listen, ID's playing the Meat Locker April 17th. We're playing Creep Fest down in Philly April 24th. Generation Records book event. I'm moderating. ID record release event at Generations May 2nd. Enzuguria headlining A7 May 3rd. Tompkins Square Park. This is our first show of the summer. Big show. Mephistopheles, ID, The Phoenix Within, and Star Car. What's up? A7 Overthrow, Brass Knuckle Brigade, and Others, Sunday, May 31st. My War at Tompkins Square Park with Butterbrain, Sunday, August 23rd. Think you can remember all that? Hey, thanks for supporting the show. The best way to do it is on Patreon. There is the QR code. Want to shout out latest patron, Luis Santana. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the show. Best way to do it's on Patreon. Please support the show. Please support the show. That said, follow me on Instagram. There it is right there. Pick up your communication device. Follow on Instagram. Also, if you're watching in a rerun on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. And if you can, lean over right now. Give the show a thumbs up. give the show a heart, a like, so we can get into the algorithm. Get into the algorithm, yo. So April 18th event at Bridge 9. Do I have that flyer? Yeah. Hey, the ID album cover drops on Friday, and the pre-order starts soon after that. So don't be scared. The new ID record is on the way, and it fucking crushes. So looking forward to getting that out there. I'd like to thank Chris and Larry for everything they do up here in Boston. Okay. Very good. Yes, I have the flyer. Doesn't seem that way. I'm not sure which flyer that is. I don't see it. It's not in the lexicon, so you have to resend it to me. That said, let's bring our guest back on, Mr. Stephen Blush. Hey.
So yeah, everybody should give to your Patreon page, and I also want to mention that there's a page set up for Ross the Boss, who is suffering from ALS, which is a death sentence, basically. So I don't have the information on the page, but it's a crowdsource thing for, and he needs the help for sure.
Yes, support Ross. Support Ross the Boss. Oh, I see, Lori. I see what you. Yeah, I remember this one. Okay, hold on. Let me. I have to put that in the list, but let me just shout out this show up at Bridge 9 with Lori Dawn. Art show coming up on Saturday, April 18th. Bridge 9 presents Spring Art Artisan Market, artists to be announced. Okay, yo, heads up. April 18th. If you're up there in Beverly, it's going down. So there you go. I'll put that in the mix. In doing the homework, I think that sort of one of the precursors to the big explosion was Run-DMC Rockbox. And that's with Eddie Martinez playing guitar. I think that was sort of, I know that was early on, but that's kind of, is it safe to say that was really sort of one of the first hip hop rock-ish?
Yeah. It's because of the guitar. As we said before, a lot of this music was basically, rapping over disco records. This was right. Run-DMC was the first time where it was a rock band.
Right.
We know that our friend Damien made that movie about Riot, the heavy metal band, and they recorded at Green Street, which is where Run-DMC recorded. So there was actually an influence there. The Eddie Martinez thing was influenced by seeing Riot play in the in the studio there. So there's an actual rock and rap connection there. And and then right after that is King of Rock.
Right.
And then after that is Rick Rubin. Basically the next one after that is Walk This Way.
Right.
I mean, in terms of popularity.
That was a big one. And I think we're still talking about kind of rapping over a rock record or a rock riff. We're making our way to actually, you've got chocolate in my peanut butter, you got peanut. We're actually kind of working our way to sort of like judgment. It's all, which I feel is sort of the pinnacle of the genre. We're sort of making
our way there.
Yes. Making it. But one connection which is interesting, Run-DMC, Rockbox. Run-DMC was signed to Profile Records,
right?
And of course, Profile Records put out through Chris Williamson's Rock Hotel Records, put out Cro-Mag's Age of Quarrel, Leeway, Born to Expire, Murphy's Law, Warzone. So there was a bit of a, you say, Profile Records, Run-DMC, and New York hardcore. Although Profile Records was a notorious label.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, notorious.
But again, here's your crossover of rock and hip hop and hardcore. It's all coming together. As we speak there, and you think about how Rick Rubin is in the studio at the same time in two different rooms. He's doing License to Ill and he's doing Rain and Blood with Slayer. And that's how you get Kerry King recording on No Sleep Till Brooklyn. It wasn't like some magical feat. It was like
he was in the
guitar player we could give $200 to.
The guy's in the next studio, and if you hear Kerry King's sort of version of it, he's like, he walked in, didn't think twice of it, played a lead, and walked back out. It wasn't even. It wasn't. But I do love in the book the Scott Koenig shout out, and really the story of Night Bob talking about going to It's Only Rock and Roll on 8th Street where Scott Koenig worked. And I think I'm paraphrasing here, but it was Scott Koenig, God rest his soul, who later went on to manage Biohazard and who was a very close friend of mine and yours. It was Scott Koenig that really connected Night Bob, who worked for Aerosmith. He connected with Rick Rubin, right?
Correct. The connection between Aerosmith and Rick Rubin, and thus Run-DMC, is Night Bob, the sound man.
Yeah,
and
incredible. I did not know that.
Yeah,
and it warmed my heart to see Scott Koenig getting some love and mention in the book.
Right. Yeah, of course. And then, of course, you were probably going to lead into the story of the video.
Hey, Steven.
Yes, sir.
Cassette, please.
Oh, shoot. Hold on.
So this was something I learned in the book. And then randomly, Steven comes on in the pre-show today with this cassette, right? What is it, Steven?
Smash Gladys.
Smash Gladys. He has this. He's got the Smash Gladys cassette. He goes, "Look, I just found this relic," and I'm like, "Interesting that you should bring up Smash Gladys." And I just learned from the book that in the Run-DMC Aerosmith video "Walk This Way," you have Steven Tyler and you have Joe Perry, but there's other people on stage with those two guys, in the background of the video, whatever, and sort of like nameless faces. There's like a drummer back there, and I did not know until I read the book that is members of Smash Gladys. Very cool.
Right.
I just learned that today.
And who made that video?
What's that?
And who made that video?
Was that wasn't Rackman?
No, it was Adam Dubin.
Oh, Adam Dubin, right?
Yeah,
right. Yep.
So, so what's really amazing about that song is that it brought the song brought rock and rap together,
right?
But then the video was literally bringing rock and rap together.
Yeah.
Yep. So, it's a pretty amazing story, and they wanted to save money on the video. Basically, the story is they wanted to save money on the video, so they didn't bring in Tom Hamilton and
Joey Kramer and
who's the other guy?
Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer, and
this is really
Brad Whitford.
Brad Whitford, yes.
Hey, thanks, Steven.
Oh, you're very welcome.
We'll let you know when you need to pull something out of the extensive archive behind you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
They want to save money on the video, so they had 2 of the 5 Aerosmith guys, meaning Steven Tyler, Joe Perry, plus these guys from Smash Gladys, who the singer Sally Cato knew from working on videos. She
I was
worked on
friends with
videos.
I was friends with the bass player JD. He was a really nice guy.
Yep.
Back in the scrap bar days.
Yep.
But yes, Christopher Valdez, 100%. Aerosmith were residing in the Where Are They Now file at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's no secret that they were sort of languishing at that point. I think they might have done with Mirrors and
right. So they did it. They did an album called "Rock in a Hard Place" without Joe Perry
and without Brad Whitford.
And the whole thing was just falling apart.
Yep.
Then they make this record, this like ode to cocaine called "Done with Mirrors."
Yeah. I saw that tour at the Garden with Ted Nugent opening.
Wow.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was aight.
So a lot of people say, like, who got the most out of the Rock, the Walk This Way video? Who got the most out of it? And I think Run-DMC certainly got a lot out of it, but it's absolutely Aerosmith because they had like a whole second career after that of the worst music like possible. But it was that I just saw the shout out to the Joe Perry project, which was let the music do the talking.
Let the music do the talking. Some of that first Joe Perry project record is fucking banging. The first Joe is fucking, that record's great. Is that Let the Music Do the Talking? I think is that the first one? Yeah, there was 3 of them. I think the first one's really good.
And then they also redid "Let the Music Do the Talking" on Done with Mirrors.
Yeah. That's when you really
Aerosmith history lesson.
Yeah, that's when you're kind of scraping bottom, when you're like, we have a chance to resurrect our band. We have a chance to make a new record. Hey, got any songs? Hey, well, I did this one on my solo record. Okay, let's do that one. Like, oof.
Yep.
Yeah, the worst possible music, 100%. Yeah, I mean, some of that Aerosmith shit was cringy, man.
Mm-hmm. For as great as they were on their first 3 or 4 albums, you know, it definitely went downhill fast.
Yep. So one thing, so let's talk some Beastie Boys. And the one thing that was really interesting to me, which I did not know, and I learned this, was, sure, we all know the Beastie Boys put out a 7-inch on Rat Cage Records. I remember seeing them back in the day. I didn't think they weren't. They were sort of they were like goofy and silly, and that just wasn't my kind of music, my kind of hardcore back then. I thought they were awful, and I think it's pretty safe to say they kind of were. I mean, I saw them at A7 and a couple other places. They were like a bunch of young teenage kids and whatever. And then at a certain point, they do this Cookie Puss 12-inch, which I'm assuming is probably quite a rarity and worth on the, because it was also put out on Rat Cage Records. I'm sure the original, that must be pretty hard to get. But there was a track on this. There was a track on this record called Beastie Revolution, and I did not know this. And basically, British Airways used the track unsolicited. They found their track was on this British Airways commercial, and they sued British Airways and got a $40,000 settlement, which is a lot of money back then, probably about $100,000 right now. And they used the money to rent an apartment in Chinatown, which provided living space, but also a place for the group to rehearse and record. The group later thanked Jeremy Healy from Hazy Fantasy. They admit the money from the lawsuit kickstarted their career. Incredible. I did not know that.
Yep. See all the things you learned from reading When Rock Met Hip Hop?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, they and they bought their 808 with that too.
Is that the drum machine they used for this?
Yeah. Well, not for that, but
no,
it can't be for that. But that became the
for this.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and then they ended up using that 808 also on their first on Paul's Boutique as well.
Right.
Even though it was a different production setup, that was still in their collection.
Another thing I learned is that this record took them a year to record, basically one song a month. I mean, they spent a year doing this record, that's a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of studio time. I mean, who believed in them to put that much behind them at that point, coming off what?
That was all Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin recorded that entire record. Mm-hmm. He spent the year on it. Don't forget he been their DJ.
Yeah, right.
And he had been on their Madonna tour,
right,
which was actually what broke the band.
Right. And that was sort of after Cookie Puss was She's On It Again. Yeah. I think that wasn't that a precursor to License to Ill?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a 12-inch.
Yeah. Yep.
I can't remember what the B-side was. Was it Paul Revere?
I think it's Slow and or Slow and Low.
Slow and
yeah.
Low. Very good. Yep. That's exactly.
Yeah. But I don't know, is that the same version that's on License to Ill, or was that an earlier version? Interesting.
I don't know. know.
Yeah, people say that album changed everything. I mean, it kind of did, didn't it? Could you tell us about your relationship with the Beastie Boys?
I got to know them through Rick Rubin. Because Rick Rubin had a band called Hose, and I worked, which was kind of like a flipper kind of band, kind of like a noise band. Yeah. And I worked with a New York noise band called No Trend. So we kind of hit it up. Rick and I kind of hit it off because we both were involved in these noise bands. Mm-hmm. My connection always to that band was Adam Yauch. I always thought he was the heart and soul of the band. But regardless, I did interviewed them for She's On It, for License to Ill, and for their next 4 albums. So that was a pretty tight connection, and I had tons of interviews with them, and interviewed every one of them during that time. And what's interesting about them, I think, is that they went from a non-band into a band.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. There's that's their first cover.
Yeah. I'm sorry if it's tinted weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's all right.
But yeah. So that's the first time they turned up on Seconds Magazine.
Yeah, that was their first cover. That's the first issue of Seconds Magazine.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How about that? First issue of Seconds Magazine with the Beastie Boys on the cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's that's a Josh Cheese photo.
Wow. And that's on the beach probably when they were doing She's On It, right?
Yep. That's in like Long Beach, New York.
Yeah. Yep.
No, they hadn't made it to Long Beach, California yet.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then
but I always thought that, like, they talked about, they always said like they did do a reunion because Yauk died. And that's true, but the heart and soul of the band was gone.
Yeah. I mean, that happens, right? I mean, there's a couple bands where sort of that happens, and sometimes bands go on. They just sort of reconfigure. But these, I think their attitude's a little bit different. I think they're not really looking to get out there and do the 30th anniversary of License to Ill. I think they've been trying to distance themselves from that for a long time.
Yes, they have been.
And in doing my homework, of course, I listened to some Run-DMC, and some of it was, I swear to God, it sounds like it sounds so much like License to Ill. It was almost like the Beastie Boys were doing their best version of Run-DMC they could do, which I think is common knowledge, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They were, I mean, the connection was just so tight because it was Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
And it was Russell's brother.
Yeah.
And then there was, Adam Yauch was a B-boy. He was, and I should say more, Adam Horovitz was a real B-boy.
Right.
And then Daryl McDaniels was like a rocker.
Right.
So they just crossed over in so many different ways, and then they toured together, and so it was more than musical.
I mean, the success of this record was mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember it was just it was mind-boggling to me. Yeah. But it was actually the first of a couple of times where I thought the Beastie Boys sucked when I saw them play, and then License to Ill comes out, and they're selling millions and millions and millions of records. Mm-hmm. I know the band really changed, but that was the beginning of I know I don't know. I know I don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could go through, when me and Paris did the Supercat video, there was a verse in there by a rapper named Biggie Smalls. Mm-hmm. And Paris said to me, "This guy's going to be huge." And I'm like, I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. Another instance of, I know I don't know. It's just, or Turnstile or Haywire right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Turnstile. I thought they were good. I thought Haywire was good, but geez.
Yeah.
Haywire, Turnstile winning Grammys, and now it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't want to be like the old guy who
get off my lawn.
Yeah. But I don't really hear the hardcore in Turnstile. I mean, I hear different styles.
Sure.
But I don't really hear the hardcore.
But part of this world we're living in now is what you and I, being that we're born a couple months apart, what we consider hardcore is not hardcore. Has mutated beyond recognition at this point, and probably their hardcore influences is stuff that you and I in wouldn't even consider hardcore. So that's just part of the changing shape of music. RS70 says, did you ever see them and they were playing hardcore before all the rap? Yeah, I did, and they sucked.
They were a worse hardcore band. They were not a good hardcore band.
They were a good. I don't think anybody could go, the fucking Beastie Boys were great. Yeah, if you were a little kid and you thought it was fun and you were in on the inside joke, maybe. But I tell you, part of the reason why at the time I didn't think the Beastie Boys were great is because I was seeing the Bad Brains, Minor Threat, Black Flag, things like that. To me, were great.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Bad Brains in 1982, that was kind of great. Minor Threat, SSD Control, like these things were great in the hardcore canon.
Yeah, I mean, my life changed forever seeing Black Flag.
Right.
I mean, sitting on the floor at the original 930 Club and having Greg Ginn and Chuck Dukowski talk about the importance of success in non-economic terms.
100%.
Like the idea that you could be successful and not make any money. I mean, law school went out the window at that point.
100%, man.
Yep.
I agree 100%. That get in the van ethos of you play as hard to 5 people as you do to 500 people.
Yep.
That work ethic paved the way.
Yep.
For many bands and people that came after. But you mentioned also that what is commendable and incredible about the Beastie Boys is that they really sort of went full circle and came back, sort of reinvented themselves with like Check Your Head and Ill Communication, and started playing their instruments, and they became really great. Those records are great. Check Your Head is great. Ill Communication is freaking. These are great records.
I mean, Sabotage might be the best song of the 90s.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I don't think anybody could really argue with me with making a statement like that.
Yeah.
You could say Smells Like Teen Spirit, I guess, but that's just apples and oranges.
Yeah. So we're starting to get up to speed here with sort of the pinnacle of all this, and I think we're still not there yet but this. Tell us a little bit about this sort of medley.
Okay, so this one was interesting because this wasn't a song that was written. This wasn't like this was not like Walk This Way where they're or something like that. This was a song that was already written and recorded by Public Enemy.
Right.
And then Chuck D came in and gave it its flavor. They put that chunky guitar sound, which, there's certain parts of Anthrax that I'm not so crazy about, but they have one of the best guitar sounds of any band out there. Like maybe their lyrics don't really speak to me, but when you Scott Ian's guitar playing is it's incredible. It's incredible.
It's got the greatest right hand downstrum in the business, man.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the story was that Scott Ian had worn a Public Enemy shirt on a cover of like Kerrang or something like that. And Chuck D saw it, couldn't believe it. And he immediately became a fan.
He name dropped them, right?
Yeah. And he name dropped then he name dropped them in I can't remember what song it was, but but he name drops Anthrax.
Oh, Wax is for Anthrax.
Yeah, Wax is for Anthrax.
There you go. Wax for Anthrax.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one thing about the what's really fascinating about Chuck D and Public Enemy is that they were trying to be the Clash of hip hop.
Yeah.
That was their goal.
Sure.
And I think they accomplished that.
Yeah.
You know, because they were a lethal political force masquerading as a rock band.
Right.
Not masquerading, but some adjective.
But I think at this point we're still sort of, I felt, and I still do, like looking at this crew here and knowing who I know, it's like, it was obvious that like Scotty Ian and Charlie loved Public Enemy and early hip hop and this and that. But a guy like Joey Belladonna, like had no fucking clue.
No clue.
It wasn't like that guy's a hip hop fan.
No,
so I feel like,
or Danny Spitz.
Or Danny Spitz. I mean, Frank Bello's along. We love Frankie Bello. Great guy. We love that guy. He was, you know, he was sort of in the middle. We love him. And
there's a part in. I'm sorry. There's a part in the Anthrax chapter, which I find really interesting, is that when Charlie Benanti says that the most interesting thing to him was before every show, Flavor Flav would play drums, and he was one of the best drummers he had ever seen.
Right.
You know, I see I'm the Man listed here. Definitely was their first. Actually, it wasn't their first rap song was they did something with UTFO.
Oh wow. Right.
And
vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did a song with UTFO, the band who did Roxanne.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
And it wasn't a success. It was not a success in any way whatsoever. But that's technically the first time they got together,
right?
With a hip hop track. But I'm the Man was a B-side,
right? So
that was kind of interesting that they became known for rap because of a B-side. And I think where you get to that point where you said the chocolate in my, what was that? Put the chocolate.
You got chocolate in my peanut butter. You got peanut butter in my chocolate. It's the old Reese's peanut butter commercial.
I
turn the corner. We're getting closer to that, I feel.
Yeah.
Because this, I feel like this is somewhat similar to the Public Enemy thing, where and of course I'm very, very close to this whole thing. Whereas you had Onyx, who did Slam.
Yeah.
We did the video for Slam and we did the Biohazard videos. Yeah. And then they were both managed by Rush Management, Scott Cornick, whatever. And Billy from Biohazard did a remix of Slam and sprinkled sort of the Biohazard stuff into it. That I think that was sort of similar to the Bring the Noise thing, where it was like a remix, but then, you know,
did this actually come before that? Because 1991 is the Anthrax Public Enemy song, and I want to say
that was before.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I want to say this is like 1990.
The Slam stuff was like 93, 92, 93.
Okay.
Yeah. So Slam was because we did Biohazard Punishment and then Shades of Grey. No, we did Biohazard Punishment. And then I think we did Onyx Slam. It was all 92, 93,
gotcha.
that kind of thing. Okay. But you know, these two, this was pretty well received, man. This was pretty killer.
The Biotics mix.
I did that video, man.
Yep.
We did that
that's
video.
Great. That's the great version of Slam.
Yeah.
Because Billy Bio kind of came up with that, you know. Yeah.
And we cut that together. That's like it's almost like we went back into the original footage from Slam and we used like footage from Slam that we didn't use in the Slam video, and then we had footage of them doing it together at the Academy, and we put that in there, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that blew up.
We were rolling, man. We were rolling back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So there's a side that happens too, is that we're all talking about rap rock, but there's a side that's rock rap.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what we're talking about. And it kind of starts on the West Coast with bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Faith No More.
Sure.
And then it you get to the Judgment Night soundtrack, which is a huge I can't even talk about how important that record is.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
You mentioned West Coast, and I know. Could you tell us a little bit about your relationship with these guys?
I booked their first tour where they came and they were making like $40 a night and living in the back of a paddle truck, and they would like, a paddle. What I mean by a paddle truck, like
like a rental box truck.
Right, and they'd be like, "Okay, see you in 300 miles," and close the back, and
and it was like, and yeah.
And they're making like $40 a night.
And you like sit in the back on like a couch that you found by the side of the road.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got them tour dates like at The World and maybe, and I want to say Danceteria, the very final days of that.
Wow.
They were making like $700 a night. So I got to save their ass.
Who is it? This is Faith No More, RS-70. Yeah. And that's Steve Blush on the bottom, second from the left with the ponytail.
Yep.
This is not the original Faith No More band, but this is Faith No More right when Mike Patton joined.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right as he joined, yes.
Yeah.
So in fact, this might have even been the auditions when he joined the band. I'm pretty sure.
And they were big favorites on Seconds Magazine. You put these guys on.
Yeah, I mean, I have a gold record for that one because I put them on the map.
Yeah.
Another one who I really put on the map was for the East Coast was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because they were doing Fight Like a Brave and all that kind of stuff. Before the Rick Rubin days. But I was just very on top of music. I was ridiculously clued into what was going on. So when did Judgment Night come out before the House of Pain album?
Well, it's funny. I have that queued up. I'm about to. Yeah, it must have. I actually have this queued up. This was my next sort of like, let's talk about this, because this was just. This was a huge record.
Greatest record. This is one of the greatest records ever.
It's a great record, and of course, the Butch Vig remix of Shamrock and Shania is hard as fuck.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks ever. That one.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
No, I think this stuff. They were on the map before Judgment Night. They were on Jump Around. They were on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were coming to New York a lot at that point. They were on Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And
but this was, I think at this point it was House of Pain LP came out first apparently. So I think it's kind of safe to say, like, at this point it's almost like a feeding frenzy, like a shark feeding frenzy, right? It's like with sort of like the rap stuff, the rock stuff, like the things are like accelerating. Bring the Noise, Onyx Slam, the Biohazard, and then this, and it's all leading to the point of Judgment Night.
Yeah. So Chuck, and that there was also Cypress Hill, Cypress Hill plus Cypress Hill plus House of Pain equals Judgment Night.
Right.
Right. So those were the main groups that put that record together.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the first time where, you know, the opening track to the Judgment Night was a movie. And this was the soundtrack. And the movie was an absolute bust.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And yeah, I've just heard it's terrible. I've never seen it.
Oh yeah, we went to the movies. It was horrible. And this is my Judgment Night gold record that I have on the wall back there. But yeah, because I don't have the cover. But yeah, this is. But yeah, go on.
Well, I'm just saying that this is the first time where it's, you know, the opening track is Helmet and House of Pain.
Yeah.
The closing track is Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam. And that was the future of music for, you know, that was 93, I believe, this album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
94 is the start of what you call new metal. And that's Korn is 94.
Limp Bizkit.
Right. I would say that the main bands of that are Korn, Limp Bizkit, System of a Down, and Linkin Park.
I feel
I've come around on a lot of these bands.
You're a better man than me.
Yeah.
No.
But Korn's like the most twisted version of a hip hop group.
Yeah.
You're gonna find.
Deftones. A story loose says Deftones.
Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, good one, Lopez. And you know what card I have to throw in the hat here, who I feel in a lot of ways in a certain regard blends together sort of the militantness of Public Enemy and the rap stuff and the rock stuff would be Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, it all culminates with, I was going to say right after that, it all culminates with Rage Against the Machine.
Which that first Rage Against the Machine record is, to call it incredible is an understatement.
Yeah. When you think about what Tom Morello was able to do with the guitar, actually turn that into a turntable.
Yep.
You know, was just so I would put that in that order of bands, like between Cypress Hill and Judgment Night is where Rage Against the Machine come in.
Yeah. And then LaRoche, I think yes, Cold Chamber, Static X. I feel like that kind of happens after the nuclear fission of like Judgment Night and pow after the Big Bang. I think these bands are come out of that.
Yeah, there's a record that I have a whole chapter on Judgment Night in there, and there's also a chapter on a record that came out in 1999 called Loud Rules, and it was Loud Records, and it was all like the rock groups doing hip hop. So it would be like Static X and Exhibit doing an old Exhibit song, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Or like System of a Down getting together with Wu-Tang Clan and doing a Wu-Tang song.
Yeah.
So that kind of won me over. That record kind of won me over for sure.
I just want to say out there, anybody who's wondering, the book is When Rock Met Hip Hop. Steve Blush is with us today. There is the QR code, so please check it out. It is a fantastic book, and I learned a lot from it. And I'm not just talking out the side of my neck here. I learned quite a bit, and that's rare and really enjoyable. It really set me on a nice course, doing some research and doing some deep dives into some music I haven't listened to in a long time that I really love. Something that was interesting, doing a deep dive on the Judgment Night thing was on the gold record. And who did I have on recently? I might have had Danny Boy. This comes up, right, a lot because people come on this show and chances are a lot of times they're on this fucking record.
Yeah.
What I never deep dived into, I did not realize this until recently, is the last track that you mentioned. Pearl Jam has 2 tracks on this record.
Yep.
They're involved in 2 tracks. The second track is the final track of the record, which is them in Cypress Hill doing the real thing. It's Pearl Jam, but it's Eddie Vedder apparently said, you know what? This isn't for me. And he went out surfing.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the track, I kind of understand why. It's Cypress Hill doing the, I'll put my gat in your face and West LA and all that. And I could see Eddie Vedder going, you know what? I don't really want anything to do with this.
Yeah.
And so I kind of got that.
Yeah. Yeah. He was doing they were doing their send dog thing.
Yeah. 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 So, but, yep. That's pretty cool. Let me take a quick sponsor break and we'll come back. We'll take some questions from around the world and there's still some cool stuff to talk about. So I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. That's what's up. Sponsor break number 2. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today, Steve Blush. We're going to go at it a bit longer. You're welcome to hang out. If you got to go, it's okay. I know it's a Sunday afternoon, but we're going to go a little bit longer. Any questions you have, now would be the time to post them because we are sponsored by blah, 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 and the Texas Silver Rush. They're a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as the style and for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Roulet, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. Information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. She Devil's Coven is a prominent female-owned business based out of Wallingford, Connecticut. Owner Rachel King Keys comes in full force, being extremely versatile and multi-talented as a candle maker, traveling makeup artist, and event planner. She's established her identity as unique across the map since 2020. Be sure to catch her on May 3rd and 4th, debuting her biggest show yet, selling her goods in New York City at the world-famous makeup show located at the Metropolitan Pavilion on 115 West 18th Street. Be sure to give her a follow on Instagram and on Facebook at She Devil's Coven. Last but certainly not least, what's up, George? 126 Hardcore Clothing is a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They're about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them, ramp up your game, www.126clothing.com. That said, if you're wondering what's going on next with the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, this Wednesday, March 11th, Frank Farrar will be on the show. He was Guns N' Roses' longest tenured drummer, was playing in Psychedelic Furs, Love Spit Love. Lots to talk about with Frank Farrar. Wednesday, March 13th, as I mentioned earlier, some good home cooking, Agnostic Front, Echoes in Eternity album breakdown. Bill Stevenson from The Descendants, All Black Flag and Flag, Sunday, March 22nd. From Overkill, D.D. Verney will be on Sunday, March 29th, co-hosted by Laurie Dawn. Sunday, April 5th, Brian Fair of Shadows Fall. And I promise we will not just talk about the Grateful Dead. Another film, Something Better Changed, documentary about Joey Chithead from DOA with director Scott Crawford and producer Paul Rackman, Wednesday, April 15th. Wayne from Hatebreed, April 17th. Don't know if this is going to be announced. We're trying to sort out some things. Hopefully it does happen. Curse Mackey, co-hosted with Joel Gostin, Wednesday, April 29th. And then we're doing an ID show when the new record, New York, is dropped. It's coming out May 1st. Wednesday, May 6th, we're doing an ID album show with Tristan DeGraves, Will Romeo, and drummer Mike Flattery. So all that and more. Just a reminder, please support the show on Patreon. Here is the QR code. If you can, also, there's a super chat function. If you have a question for our guest, there's a Patreon address. There's a, PayPal address as well. Support the show. If you're watching in a rerun, please subscribe to the Stonefields NYC YouTube page. Please reach over, give a thumbs up or a heart so we can get in the algorithm, yo. I want to get in the algorithm. That said, any questions you have for our guest, don't be shy. Let it fly. Now would be the time. Let's bring back our. What are you reading? What is that?
This is the record Steve was talking about.
Huh.
And this record is just as good as Judgment Night, in my opinion. There's some great shit on here. You know, you got Sick of It All. You got Ozzy on here. Incubus. This is a really good record. Tom Morello and the Wu-Tang Clan with this has got some really solid stuff on it.
I sort of like vaguely. I am not really that familiar with that record. I have to visit it.
The cover could be a little bit better, but the record itself is great. I mean, you know, you have like the rhythm. You know, Tom Morello and Chad Smith doing Wu-Tang Clan, Ain't Nothing to Fuck With.
So on this record, are they doing versions of hip hop songs, or do they have hip hop artists doing?
No, they're collaborations. Like for instance, you have Sick of It All here doing and Mobb Deep doing Survival of the Fittest together.
Wow,
amazing! It's so good. Yeah, this is and this is, I think this is actually on digital. You can actually hear this. This is a really good record.
Wow.
And you know, another thing, I was kind of taking notes as you guys were talking. One thing I remembered going back to the first Ludacris record, they did, I think it was during Green Eggs and Ham, they went into the Rockbox riff, and did like the whole Rockbox rap over that. And of course, Anthrax Bring the Noise when they did I'm the Man.
Sure.
You know, so this is it's funny. It's just it's just filling my head with all these things. Like, and another of my favorites is when Cypress Hill did Rock Superstar after Judgment Night.
Well, I think, Stephen, sort of like after the fission at Judgment Night, I think after that it was sort of like an accepted fact that like bands just did kind of that style. Yeah, for sure.
You wouldn't think twice about seeing a metal group with two rappers or something like that.
Right.
Like
That's right.
You wouldn't think twice about it now.
Right.
But I think Linkin Park would probably be the biggest at one point.
Yeah.
You know, and
do you know that they've sold 40 million records? That's like more than like Led Zeppelin or something like that.
Linkin Park
has the first album, right? That's just Hybrid Theory.
That's everything. That's everything.
You know,
another record, another band that I did a little bit of a dive into doing my homework for the show was Limp Bizkit. Yep. And looking at the amount of records worldwide that they sold, it wasn't like it went gold here and there. It's like they went gold in every country on the planet Earth for like 4 records.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, they're kind of loved again. Like they went through a period where everybody kind of dropped them.
Yeah.
And now they're back to like headlining status.
Yeah. It comes back around for a lot. All right, Stephen, I'll talk to you in a bit. Let's see. A couple of things. Well, I wasn't really that. I remember sort of, I remember that record he's talking about, but I didn't gravitate towards it because I just wasn't at the time like much of a new metal guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just something I discovered in my. You were asking me about the research toward the beginning of this interview, and that's just something I discovered.
Right.
And
right. a couple, just sort of, I have a lot of pictures. You sent me some. We went deep on the chat, but just a couple things I just want to put up. You're talking about your history with Faith No More. They were sort of darlings of Seconds Magazine, the way that I remember it. I mean, you really connected with them, and they connected with you, and they turned up a lot in Seconds Magazine.
Yeah, and also because I did Seconds, I also wrote about these bands for other magazines, like like Spin Magazine,
right?
Perfect example. Like pretty much any of those groups that you've mentioned today for Seconds apply to Spin or Interview or The Village Voice or things like that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. What's this, 93? 94 maybe?
Yeah, I think it's 94.
Yeah.
They had just signed to Warner Brothers. Does that sound right?
Sure. Yeah. Wes Borland's a phenomenal guitar player. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing about, I'm not like I don't know that much about Limp Bizkit other than what I know, but listening to their stuff, getting ready for the show, they really, like we said, moving forward, there's a lot of phenomenal heavy guitar playing in their stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's and also the DJ is DJ Lethal from House of Pain.
That's right. Thank you. Right.
Yeah. So that's that goes deep pretty far with me.
Yeah, this is a great question. Thank you from RS70. Anything to say about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame adding rap? I mean, it's sort of a weird thing, right? It's like I'm seeing these rappers getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, like these, and not even great rappers. I'm seeing like borderline rappers getting in. Meanwhile, there's like great rock acts that like old school rock acts that aren't in. I feel like it's like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is what it is, but I think it's ironic, interesting, pathetic that rappers.
I heard Craig Carton in New York, the sports talk guy.
Sure.
And he's actually said with a straight face that why isn't Mariah Carey in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I think she is now, right? Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, you said that with a straight face. I mean, I would say that as a joke.
Yep. So, I guess anything like that, right? I mean, rock, and I understand
there is some rap that is rock and roll.
Sure.
And that should be in there. Like I could see Public Enemy being in there.
100%. Sure.
I assume they are. I have no idea. But
what's sort of weird about that is like there's certain groups that'll never get in there that were so incredibly influential, like Motorhead or Bad Brains or Black Flag. These were the Black Flag, Bad Brains, Motorhead influenced more people than 90% of the people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, yeah, that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Let me see. Questions. Let's see. Missy Elliott's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but not Jethro Tull.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. I mean,
yeah.
Missy Elliott. What's Missy Elliott doing there?
Yeah.
I mean, and Missy Elliott's got some cool songs. I mean, I'm not bagging on that, but that's like what you gonna put Motorhead in the R&B Hall of Fame?
That's what I was gonna say. Should Black imagine the uproar if these bands were put in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? It'd be like, what the fuck are they doing here?
Mm-hmm.
So, question: does Body Count fall into this category, or are they a metal band with a singer who happens to be a rapper? That first LP came out in '92.
Well, it's a really good question. I think they do. I mean, they're on that on the Judgment Night soundtrack there, it's Body Count and Slayer doing an exploited medley.
It's great. It's great. I like a lot of stuff on Judgment Night. I like the Run-DMC and Living Color track. I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great collaborations on that. Even some of the real weird ones that are like Faith No More and the Booyah Tribe. It's like, huh? That record was very, very listenable.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good stuff. And very important.
Yeah.
More importantly than cool. I mean, it's that it's,
God, I pulled so many pictures and barely showed any because we just got deep into it. On another note, is this? Let me clear the deck here. Is this the first show that you promoted down in DC as a teenager?
Yes, I was 18 years old.
18 years old. Wow.
Yep. Almost got thrown out of college for that.
Was this at your college?
Yeah, I worked at the radio station. I was able to connive myself into booking the school cafeteria with my radio credentials.
You booked a band called the Dead Kennedys into this college?
Into the George Washington University.
Woo-wee.
Yeah. So
what a bill.
Yeah.
DK's GI 00 with Eric and Faith, which is Ian's brother's band. What a great bill this is.
Yeah.
$7.
Yeah. Mellow out or you will pay.
Yeah. Oh, Dan says that was a great show. Dan Neese, you were there? Very cool. And then just kind of bringing it full circle. And this is this you out wheat pasting the Public Enemy Minor Threat show that you did?
Absolutely. 100%. That's me on the left. And
how did I Public Enemy and Minor Threat played together? That's interesting.
Yeah. So apparently Ian MacKay didn't want to do this show, but it ended up being their most famous show. That and the Funk Punk show with Trouble Funk, which was another show I put on.
Where was this? The Ritchie Coliseum on Halloween?
That's Washington, D.C. That's University of Maryland.
When I say Coliseum, I kind of picture a big place.
Yeah. It was where the basketball team played.
And of course, for those out there that are wondering who promoted the very last Minor Threat show, it was, in fact, today's guest, Steve Blush.
That's right.
There it is. Yep, that was the last ever Minor Threat show.
My name's at the bottom right there, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, I did some stuff.
Yeah.
Nope. So I'm some people were like, who's this guy to write the American hardcore book? And I'm like, me, because I was there, dude.
Hey, I hear that where is my I'm hearing that there is a revised version of this coming down the line.
That is the second edition. There is a third edition coming out this fall.
Right,
and it's another 40,000 words, and it's another probably another 100 pieces of artwork, and a lot of new stuff that I just didn't know. And
is this new research, or is this stuff that didn't make it in before?
Is there a difference?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, is this stuff that was in the archive, or did you sort of go?
This is just new stuff that I learned that people had told me that I had read.
Right.
like, I don't know, like an incredibly small one, but like I didn't know Greg Ginn's mom was a concentration camp survivor, and I didn't know her name.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But now that was something I was able to add.
It's weird enough that Raymond Pettibone's his brother.
Yeah, that's
like,
a very odd relationship.
You know what I mean? Like I thought recently about reaching out to Pettibone, and I'm like, you know what? I'll pass. I don't think I need. Yeah.
Can I say something very politically incorrect?
Yeah.
I saw the new Black Flag with the girl singer.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
That's what I hear.
It was.
Where'd you see them play?
I drove all the way up to Connecticut to see them.
I hear they're great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
She was so tough. She reminded me of Henry.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she's like 22. You know, she's got the fire, you know, really. Yeah.
Good for him. You know, here, Chiv Cromwell 108 says, they ruled. I saw them in Gainesville. So good.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that's a normal, that people are saying that, because it was incredible. Yeah.
Was the new Black Flag better than Flag? Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Flag.
Flag was good.
Yeah. But this was more true to Black Flag because of the set that they did.
Sure.
I mean, this was like the 1985 set tour.
What a lot of people sort of, I don't know, don't realize or have forgotten about or refuse to acknowledge is that Black Flag, for the most part, was always a shifting cast of characters. Mm-hmm. I mean, every tour to tour, they'd have another drummer, there was a lot of different singer. Sure, towards the end there, they did a couple years with Henry singing, but even then, there was a different bass player, a different drummer. Mm-hmm. So there was always a shifting cast of characters. So very cool. So that said, let me one more time. The book is When Rock Met Hip Hop. Here is the QR code. Pick it up at Amazon.
Really, guys, the fastest and cheapest is Amazon. You'll get it tomorrow. You know, it'll be the cheapest you're going to find it. As I keep saying, that's the least money I'm going to make on it. But I'd like you guys to get it. So,
we'll make up for it in volume, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Before we go, I just want to shout out somebody that reading your book just reminded me of a friend of ours. I'm talking about Scott Koenig. Here's me and Scott outside the Flamingo in Vegas back in the day for something, and he was a good friend of both of ours, and he managed Biohazard back in the day, and he was a real part of these early days. He worked at Rush Management, and when that's down on Elizabeth Street, and he's in the Beastie Boys Fight for Your Right. Is it Fight for Your Right to Party video? And yeah, I miss him, man.
Yep, he was a good guy, and his desk was like the rock office of New York.
Yeah. He brought, and that that office, Def Jam on Elizabeth Street, that was a pretty intense place, man. That was you never knew what. Question: are there any signed editions of your book?
Well, if you order it from me directly, I could do an autographed copy.
And we're talking about maybe doing an event here in New York. Hopefully, we'll get our calendars straight.
Yeah,
we should do that. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, let's revisit the calendar.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out?
Just to my boy Tony Mann, and to my homegirls Alyssa and Jackie Blush. I wouldn't be. I came through a very bad health scare, and I'm back in action. So I want to thank everybody out there for listening and for the support, because I ain't stopping. I'm going to keep going. So,
no doubt, and we're so happy that you've recovered and you're back in the game. Yeah. Let's talk soon, Stephen. Thank you so much for a great show today. I knew it was going to be great.
Yeah, it was great, and I want to thank everybody for listening too.
Fantastic. Talk to you soon.
Okay, take care.
Take care. There you have it. Woo! Put your shoes and socks on, kids. That was awesome. Good show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Lori, and everybody else. It was great. Great day, great show. We will see you. Let me see what's next. As far as my schedule goes, we'll see you on Wednesday. This Wednesday with Frank. This is going to be another great one. This is going to be a great one. This Friday, if you're in New York City, come to the Chris Rem book event. I'm moderating it. And then the AF show is the 18th. Actually, we're back at before that, we're back at the A7 on the 15th with the Back to the New York Hardcore Roots series. So thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Robert Hogg, Joshy, everybody out there, man. Good work today. Good work. Good work, team. We'll see you soon. Until next time, do good things and good things will come.
Conditioned by indoctrination, conditioned by society. You're a victim of the digital age.